Good morning, Councillor Adams and Council. I came here to discuss the minutes of meetings, and then walked in and saw this one here, if I could have this, on the Code of Conduct for Mayor and members of Council for Integrity Commissioner, and I consider that way more important than anything I got to say about minutes. So I kind of regret that I didn't know about this. But you can't just switch, can you?
It actually is on the agenda, so you can speak to it.
Yeah, but I'm not good on my feet. I need to prepare ahead of time. I'm not swift. But I was hoping that this is really important. If people remember, it was Councillor Mullen who had said that there were issues that were chronically coming up regarding, and she was mentioning Donald Barber as an example, and she had recommended that, you know, once and for all to deal with it. And this is how I think the idea of the Integrity Commissioner came up. And I also recall I had urged I think Councillor Sato was going to lead the charge on this, and I asked her to, say, invite the Ontario Ombudsman in to address Council, to give them some idea as to how to set up an Integrity Commissioner. This is, you know, I've been observing Council since June 14th, 2006, and I'm talking about audio tape, videotape, and stuff like that. This has got to be the most important corporate report and direction, certainly from the view of treatment of citizens and ethical infrastructure. And yet, this thing did not go through audit committee, for example. It just kind of showed up here, and staff is recommending that you accept it. There's not any possibility even for public input. I don't even know if it's been run through public. And you know, I would think that first you check to see the validity of the public complaints system that you already have in place, the one for corporate security and the generic ones, and whether those are being handled properly. Because if they're not, and I'm saying they're not, and I've got freedom of information saying it, so, you know, the fact that, well, okay, it's not a fact because it's based on evidence, but it's sort of ultimately my conclusions, and somebody else may look at the evidence and see it differently. But for me, I question any Integrity Commissioner that may, or a process here, because I just don't see the ethical infrastructure in place to support something like that. So I have concerns, and I'd love to see Council perhaps not endorse it yet, and really get members, like run it through Miranet, run it through some of your ratepayers associations. Mayor McCallion was giving an address at UTM last week, and I was there, and she was talking about public input and the importance of it.
The sky is the limit with the involvement of the people. Any decisions that politicians make can be controlled, believe it or not.
And this just came up. It could be rubber stamped today, and that's it. So I would hope that Council might look at this and say, you know, this is really important. Let's put some, let the public look at this and talk about it. Anyway, I'm hoping that I'll be preparing for this at Council, because I'm very scattered, and sometimes I'm sorry.
In fact, I think we might have some things to help you out here. If I can turn to the councillors, though, who are listed, who I think want to address some of your concerns.
The sky is the limit with the involvement of the people. Any decisions that politicians make can be controlled, believe it or not.